now from Noel McDonald. Noel is the co-founder, general manager and creative director of Cool Country 2K8 radio station. Before that, he's done millions of things, including running about 1,000 murals, and he was also the creator, co-manager and producer of family pop sensation Girlfriend. And he has had quite an extensive career as an executive producer as well, with foreign language recordings for Disney. So he may look like a mile-managed radio station manager, general manager and co-creator. He has done many, many creative things as well and continues to do so. So I'll let him tell you about his journey.
Thanks very much, Peter. I'm not used to sort of speaking in public. I'm actually used to singing in public, but I'm not going to sing for you. I'll try that. Look, the word creative entrepreneur, I sort of was thinking about it on the way coming here today. I actually realised that I've been a creative entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. I put my first gig on when I was 8 years old. I was in a little singing trio with my mate, who's I'm now actually a partner with in my radio station. He's actually put the money up for the radio station. And we had a little group called the Thunderbirds, and so we used to sing these silly songs, and we were in third class, I think. Anyway, there's no gigs when you're in third class, so I decided to create an event. And the event was to raise money. Also, it was a concert. It was on the backyard of on the back patio of our neighbour's house. And so this gig actually required promotion. It required sort of sussing out how many people were going to turn up, because we needed seats and we needed to sell a bit of merchandise, which was ice creams and whatever at the gig. And we needed a program so that people knew what was coming up. And we needed somebody at the front fence to collect the money. And so I've been crazy since I've been 8 years old. So, and I think you do need to be a little bit crazy. You need to just step right out there and actually create something yourself. And that's what a creative entrepreneur does. You probably have some specific talent, whether it be writing songs or producing art or being a fashion director, or it could be all sorts of things. But you actually need to step forward and actually create your own opportunity. And as it turns out, just finishing up that little story, my third class teacher said, "Well, Noel, you better go and sort of go around the primary school and check out how many kids are coming to this concert of yours tomorrow." And I said, "Okay." So I went around all the classrooms and I said, "How many kids are coming to this thing tomorrow?" And all these kids put their hands up, and I counted 99. And I remember sort of nervously sort of telling the parents, like on Thursday night before Saturday, they said, "So how many people come to this thing?" I think like 10 or 15 or something. And I said 99. Well, you know, thankfully 99 didn't turn up, and about 30 did, which was great. We raised about $38, and it was all given to the Smith family. So it had this whole sort of round-off, aspect to it. In fact, we took it to the next level and turned it into a media event. We went on one of these Saturday morning shows, which is Uncle Reggie's something or other, and there was this thing called the wishing well, and you had to hand over this cheque with whatever money you raised. And so we even went right through that process of going down to Channel 7 and handing over the cheque. So, tick, event done, congratulations. Anyway, so that was 8 years old. So I went on after that, was in folk groups and pop groups and rock groups, right up through, and also did Gilbert and Sullivan musicals and all that sort of stuff through primary school and on into high school. And look, after high school, I went straight into the Conservatorium of Music. I was lucky enough to be picked up as one of 10 people in the state to go in and do this new course that they had at the time called the Diploma of Jazz Studies. And so I worked I was an arranging student there and played in a convict band for 5 minutes. That was a blast. Anyway, so you come out of and all the time, right through the tail end of high school, I started doing gigs on the weekend. So I was a working musician the whole time from about year 11 onwards. So where other people had other jobs, I was doing weddings on Saturday afternoons. So I was making a bit of pocket money. And so coming out of the conservatorium, it sort of become really obvious to me that sort of nobody was going to actually just sort of say, hey kid, let's make all this stuff happen for you. That person wasn't there. And this is especially true in Australia. There isn't this, echelon of management that we sort of, have in our sort of fantasy mind that, oh, well, if I just do this, then all these other people turn up and do all of that. Well, not necessarily true. And that's where you really have to sort of become a creative entrepreneur in your own right. And so, of course, develop your craft as an artist. Absolutely get your craft together as an artist. But you then have to put this other hat on, and that is, okay, how do I create my own opportunity? How do I actually make something happen that projects my talent or, my compositions or whatever I'm doing? How do I get that into the public space? Or how do I just score gigs? And so this is where you really have to become your own manager, and you actually have to create your own events. And part of all of that, for me, was going to Los Angeles and working. I worked in LA with all sorts of incredible people. I was actually in a duo with a guy that ended up doing the Seinfeld theme, and he's a good mate, Jonathan Wolfe. I also met some great singer-songwriters over there, who later became good friends of mine, later became good associates of mine as far as production goes, because I was in a duo with a guy called Rick Price in the late 80s. And I said to Rick, why don't we create a group? I know you've got a whole batch of songs, and I've got a whole batch of songs. And why don't we just sort of create some group, and we can put all our copyrights up through that group? And I said, in the meantime, we can go off and do some other record as a duo, whatever. But I just had this idea of this group in my mind. And I went and bought the Fortune 500 magazine, which is a business magazine, basically. And once a year, they actually put out who's making the most money in what categories, whether it be mining or whatever. I went to the entertainment page, and the entertainment page, right above Oprah Winfrey and above Steven Spielberg, was New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block. And I was very into Anthony Robbins at the time, and I went, why don't we just create New Kids on the Block in Australia? But the twist is that Anthony Robbins was very much on this trip of, do what's going on out there, give it a twist, And so I said, why don't we do it with girls? So we went about auditioning, hundreds and hundreds of girls to create the pop group Girlfriend. And I'd already had the songs in my, bag of tricks, and we just needed to find the right talent to create the group. And we found 5 girls that were perfect for the gig. And we did a small 3-song demo and a 3-song demo video clip, and we took them around to the record companies. And we started getting offers from, I won't say offers, but interest from Sony, Mushroom, and BMG. Anyway, we ended up going with BMG. Anyway, we got the budget through, we started making the record, we got a programmer out from the States. The record, we finally released the first single, went straight to #1, which was incredible, because this went from a visualisation to, a chart with, there we are at #1. So look, the power of positive visualisation is incredible. And if you're maniacal enough to keep going, it'll actually happen. But you've really got to stick with whatever your agenda is, like all the way. And anyway, Girlfriend was very successful for the period that it lasted. Unfortunately, it would have been nice if it actually lasted its 5-year marketing career, but the marketing plan, but that didn't actually happen for a variety of reasons. So look, I learned a lot out of Girlfriend, and we ended up selling 250,000 records. We produced 2 foreign language albums in Japan. We had 3 Australian music. Noel, Girlfriend was always going to happen. You were just the guy that saw it and made it happen. And I thought that was very deep, because that's her way of saying, look, it was always there. That thing, that niche, that hole in the marketplace was always there. You just went and backfilled it in, and the public went crazy for it. There was a need for that tween demographic product in the marketplace, and we put it together, and it just went off. So anyway, years after Girlfriend, I sort of got involved. All the way through this, I've always just been a working musician, piano player, singer, and I've also been a jingle writer. And so because I've been a jingle writer, I've been very involved with radio stations my whole life, working as a subcontractor for radio stations. I've worked with ARN for years, and I've also worked with Austereo for years. And I've always been interested in owning my own radio station, which is really a fairly crazy idea because you really need to be Jamie Packer to sort of even consider it. But I was aware of a particular possibility, and it was through this thing called narrowcast radio that I could actually get into radio. And I've been checking out this particular opportunity for quite a while, and it finally came up. And in 2006, we started buying basic assets for what is now called Country 2KA. By late 2006, we launched it, and basically it's a high-powered open narrowcast license, 1476 AM, and we're a country format because that's actually part of the narrowcast thing. We can't actually replicate a commercial radio station format, but we can actually do a niche format. So we're doing a very popular niche format, let's say. We're playing a lot of Keith Urban and Taylor Swift, and it's that modern contemporary country. Anyway, we've gone on to our announcer's gone on to win the CMA America's International Broadcast Review, and about a year or two ago we actually won the People's Choice Award for Best Country Music Radio Station in Australia. So that's been another exercise in visualisation of creating an entity or an event or a commercial enterprise, and then sort of putting all the energy and the creativity and all the finance into it that actually makes it happen. And I think that what's on offer here with UWS, as far as all the accounting concepts that they've got in the course, the marketing concepts that they've got in the course, and the law aspects that they've got in the course. If I could have done something like this when I was a young man, when I was 23, 24, it would have just been amazing because I've gone through the school of hard knocks and to learn all the stuff that I've learned, which is kind of fine. And I've spent tens of thousands of dollars with lawyers and tens of thousands of dollars with accountants that, I now can read a contract quite easily because, I've read enough contracts to understand it. But like for the first, batch of publishing contracts or record country contracts, I didn't really know what was going on. So I really did have to sit with a lawyer. Now people actually send contracts to me and go, hey Noel, does this make sense? Should I sign this? And I can quickly point out what's right and wrong with it. But if I was able to do a course, if I was able to come out of the conservatorium and then step into a course like this, that would be a really fantastic thing because by the time I'd be like 25, I'd go, okay, well I can play the piano, I can sing, I can arrange, and I can also do an MYOB document, I can also read contracts, and I also know the fundamental principles of marketing. Turns out I was not a bad marketer in reality. I had all the right marketing sort of logic. But it would have really, it also helped to go out with a brand manager at the time, so that I learned a lot of, there you go. But look, it would have helped to actually sort of have done something sort of substantial, like I did with my music, but do something substantial with the accounting, with the marketing, and with the law components. So, I think that what UWS is offering is really a brilliant thing, and I think you should really take advantage of it. Anyway, my advice to you all is you've got to create your own opportunity. That's the truth about Australia. You've really got to create your own opportunity. No one's going to come and knock on your door, and there is nobody that's I've met a lot of talented people in my day, and a lot of it's added up to nothing. Because they're under the illusion that some A&R guy and some record company's going to go, hang on, there's a guy in Campbelltown, I'm feeling him. He's really hot. He's a great songwriter. I've just got to go up my Ferrari and go find him. It's like not true. You've got to go and find that guy. You've got to go and kick that guy's door down and present yourself. And or you've got to create your own event that people are going to come to, and you become a promoter. So there are two hats to wear in this business. There's the artist hat and there's the businessman hat. And I think what UWS is offering is a great thing to get that business component together. Anyway, thanks for your time.